Thank you for your attention. Welcome to a very special program today. Looks like it's standing room only at the Atlanta Rotary Club, right, Clark? You all thought that President Yates could run a tight ship? You ain't seen anything yet. So without further ado, I'd like to invite past President Clark Dean to the stage, who will lead us in our invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you, President Adrian. May we pray. Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this time of year, this brisk December day, the smiles and warmth and feelings of friends and family that we've just experienced this past week, and the love in this room, the friendship in this room, the care and concern for community in this room. But Father, help us to be aware, to pay attention to those around us. For there are some around us, maybe even in this very room, who are lonely, who are in desperate need of that kind word, that gentle touch, that thoughtful look that lets them know that they are loved. Father, help us be those people. Help us to go into this world as we exit this room with wisdom and discernment and courage to lead and to care. Father, our mayor is fond of reminding us that Atlanta is a group project. And Father, we're reminded that your kingdom is a group project. And we're so grateful that we get to be collaborators with you in that project. Father, we thank you for this food, for the hands that provided it, and for this time of fellowship. For it is in your name we pray. Amen. Amen. And the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Clark. I now would like to welcome Megan Littlepage to the stage. She's a student in her first year of the Master of Music and Voice Performing at GSU to sing our national anthem. Welcome.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you for that inspiration, Megan. Ladies and gentlemen, the 61st Mayor of Atlanta is in the house, Mayor Andre Dickens. As you all know, Mayor Andre is a proud native of Atlanta, a product of Atlanta Public Schools, and an engineer from Georgia Tech. 8 overtimes, is that all it took? Nearly. What an outstanding game. Mayor Andre has embraced the business and civic leadership in our community and our club as a partner in fulfilling his vision for the city. He has driven tangible results. He told us last year how he aspires to make Atlanta the best city in the country for a child to grow up in. That's an audacious goal given where we're at. Mayor, we're here as a club to help. As we said last year, we are your partner and will continue to be your partner. And we look forward to your update on how things are going to create a city of safe, healthy, connected neighborhoods, empowering upward mobility and full participation for all residents, embracing youth development, and an innovative, dependable government moving our city forward together. Our theme as a club this year is to engage and impact as only the Atlanta Rotary Club can. So it's very exciting to have you here to help us celebrate our success with our Early Childhood Champions initiative as part of your vision, and to honor the educators who have been so integral to its early success. So please let's welcome Mayor Andre Dickens. Please be seated. Mayor Andre, if you'll just allow me to welcome a few special guests before you get going. You're clearly very excited to tell us about the state of the city. I'll ask everybody that I'm about to introduce to stand and stay standing so we can recognize you at the end. Firstly, Shawnell Johnson, who's the director of PACT. Shawnell, please stand. PACT stands for Promise All Atlanta Children Thrive. PACT has been a key partner in our initiative. I'd also like to welcome early learning educators from various programs across the city, the Atlanta Speech School and the Rollins Center for Language and Literacy. Also, all members from GEARS, which stands for Georgia Early Education Alliance for Ready Students. Will you all please stand? I'd also like to welcome our Atlanta Rotary Youth Service members today who are hosting our Interact and Rotaract clubs, the Drew Charter Interact Club, Morehouse Spellman Rotaract Club, Chester Phillips, the Dean of the College of the Arts at Georgia State University, and finally, all visiting Rotarians and guests, welcome to Rotary today. All right, Mayor Andre, are you ready? Are you ready for your state of the city? There are going to be lots of questions. Come on up to the stage, please.
All righty. Good afternoon, Rotarians. Good afternoon. And I hope that everyone had a great holiday and a great holiday weekend. It's good to see all of you back here. I always look forward to getting to spend some time with members of the Downtown Rotary. For more than a century now, members of this Rotary have shown the spirit of service and community impact that helps us keep moving Atlanta forward, which is my theme. And I'm truly happy to be here as you celebrate a season of service where the Rotary members have worked together to address some of the city's most pressing challenges. And your participation has helped us in so many things, including we just recently had a national election, and your dedication to civic engagement really helped to confirm Atlanta's electoral process as a model for integrity and participation. And so I know that this is part of your mission and emblematic of your overarching theme of engaging and impacting communities. And it's good to see so many of our young people here. Drew, I see some Drew students. Thank y'all for being here, Drew High School students. I love it. Grown folks are cool, but I love the kids. And Morehouse and Spellman students, I heard that some of you are in the house today. There's some of you here, so thank you, for being here. And a number of leaders. My staff handed me a card of important people, and it's like front and back. I was like, all y'all, thank all y'all for being at the Rotary. It's like, why you hand me a card? It's all important folks. Everybody's running something. Thank y'all for what you're doing. Again, I want to offer my gratitude to all of you, and I'm going to speak and then I'll answer some questions, so I'll talk for a little bit here. You guys really led by example on our work through our early childhood education. Your Early Childhood Champions initiative is to be commended. In 2022, as a new mayor, I announced that my administration will be making the city's largest investment ever in early childhood education. It was an early step. We were taken on the path to making this the best place in the country to raise a child. The city of Atlanta committed $5 million in investment, and I challenged our business community to add to that and help us meet the challenge, and we exceeded that. My goal was $20 million. We raised $22 million. Thank you all for your help on that, Stephanie and others. I wanted us to be able to put our youngest learners from infancy to all the way up to pre-K, I wanted to put them on a path to the best part of the rest of their lives. This was my commitment to PACT, promises that all Atlanta children thrive, and in our citywide efforts led by GEARS. I'm so happy and proud that Atlanta's private sector answered the call, including the Rotary Club of Atlanta, with your commitment of nearly $2 million into that 22 that we raised. $5 million from the city, $5 million from APS, and you guys put up $2 million. So thank you as well. And so one of the things I like most about the Early Childhood Champions program is how it encourages our early educators to continue their own education, specifically learning how to employ science and the science of reading in their classrooms. This in turn helps them fast track their students to early literacy, a real superpower that can change the course of a child's life forever. It's also why my office partnered with the Rotary and the Rollins Center for Language and Literacy to recognize your early childhood champions with the Mayor's Awards for Early Literacy when they complete their additional training. I'm so happy that I could be here to recognize the deserving educators that are here today. To these teachers, I sincerely thank you all for your commitment and for everything that you do for Atlanta's young people. You are truly our early childhood champions. Let's give all those teachers a round of applause, y'all. Can y'all stand, those teachers? Can y'all stand? I want y'all to be recognized. Those people are the backbone behind a whole community, a whole society. So truly and really, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. So 2023, I declared it the year of the youth. Last year, we went all out for youth, and you guys were a part of that in so many ways. And the outcomes of that are phenomenal. From the city had the highest graduation rate ever in the city of Atlanta. We can clap for great graduation rates for sure. We were able to invest in a lot of child care centers that needed repairs, that they didn't have any money to be able to support themselves with. So about $50,000 plus to a number of early childhood centers in 2023 and into 2024. We also employed over 5,000 young people in 2023 during the summer youth employment program, 5,000 people between the ages of 14 and 24 making about $17 an hour. The Year of the Youth in 2023 was a heroic effort and an impressive success. It was so good that we did it again. In 2024, you are still in the Year of the Youth again because we want to continue these efforts to make Atlanta the best place in the country to raise a child. And again, in 2024, we even went higher with more students employed, 5,700 students, and almost an $18 an hour summer employment rate. And we once again had the highest graduation on record, even topping 2023 and 2024. So together, we are doing great work for our young people, everybody. And so thank you to the Rotary for your 111-year tradition of civic engagement and working on civic challenges. I know that we are leaving some time at the end, again, for questions closing out 2022. Thank you for your support of public safety. The Public Safety Training Center is near completion. We will be doing a preview later this month and then a formal opening when it warms up so that y'all don't have to be out there in the cold for that. But the first pillar of my administration is one safe city. And that's to make Atlanta a safer, large city, and we've done just that. That's why I'm so happy to report that citywide crime numbers continue to drop since 2021. Homicides are now down again this year on top of last year. Last year was 21% down. This year we're at 10% down on top of that. Robberies are down 13%, and motor vehicle thefts are down 26% this year. And this is all due in part to very specific anti-crime initiatives that we have employed during this year and last year. These are multi-agency operations between the City of Atlanta, the FBI, GBI, all the alphabet soup of folks to make sure these things happen. We are coordinating our efforts to bring down violent crime. In fact, later this afternoon, we are announcing our plans for the Christmas holiday shopping season to make sure that residents and businesses are safe during this time where we know people take opportunities to take advantage of folks, and so we don't want that to happen, so we'll be announcing that later today. Policing and non-policing efforts have led to this violent crime reduction. The non-policing actions are the Mayor's Office of Violence Reduction, as well as our nightlife division that focuses on bringing down nightlife crime. All the things that we're doing with the Year of the Youth. You keep kids busy, they don't have time to get in trouble. We keep them active, and they go out there and do great things and work on domestic violence, as well as the things that we've been doing around keeping people employed, labor. And so our collective efforts in this group project have worked. Of course, affordable housing is still my love language. Our goal is to have 20,000 units of affordable housing by 2030. We're already at 10,000 units either built and people moved in, with another 4,000 or so that are under construction and pre-construction. So we're at about 10,000, and we're on our way to 20,000 over an 8-year period, working very hard with the private sector to get those things done. We are doing this by making the single largest investment also to alleviate homelessness in Atlanta. We put forth a bond of $60 million a few months ago. That's the largest public investment in homelessness ever. And our goal is to supplement this with support from philanthropic sources, including those that may be in this room. And so when it's all said and done, we expect to produce up to another 700 new units of high quality, deeply affordable housing units for those experiencing homelessness, and including 500 quick delivery units delivered by the end of 2025. And 2025 is a month away. So by the end of 2025, we'll have 500 quick delivery units. These are things similar to the Melody that we did, which are 40 units of shipping containers. We're going to be opening some more, a hotel that we're converting in a few weeks, and then some others you'll see. And this is why I will need your help. I'm going to need your help on combating homelessness, and I'll get to that in a second. All of this happened. All of this work in community has happened and bringing down violent crime. At the same time, the City of Atlanta ended up with a AAA bond credit rating, the highest it's ever had and the highest you can get. AAA credit is like having, for you bankers, I see about 700 of you bankers in this room. That's like having an 850 credit score. For the City of Atlanta. We did all that. The very same week that we did $60 million to combat homelessness, we also got blessed with a 850 credit score. I think you can do well while doing good, right? And so that is important. And so like many Rotary members, we are committed to taking these innovative approaches, but I need your help. And I'm going to sit down on this. I need your help with homelessness. This is that season. This is that time. And as last year, we had about 2,000 individuals that went from living on our streets to us getting them some form of housing. But you still see individuals living on the streets today. A lot of that is a regional effect. So I want us to focus on Atlanta, but I also want us to focus on the region around Atlanta. Everybody that's homeless in Atlanta didn't start with Atlanta when they became homeless. So we have to commit ourselves to helping people around this region solve their problems. When people have more than money in one of these suburbs, let's not ship them downtown. Let's try to figure out solutions for them right where they are, where they're near family and near the resources that can help them. I am meeting people on these streets that are living in communities or once lived in communities that were not the City of Atlanta just a year ago. So we keep being the custodian of poverty, we keep being the custodian of solving people's problems. It's costly on this city. I want us all to commit to help us financially, but also advocate for Atlanta by advocating for mayors, council members, congresspeople, and commissioners of counties to help their region, help their part of the region solve homelessness in their part of the region. Am I making myself clear about what I'm asking y'all to do? All right, thank you. I'll sit down. Thank you, Rotary members. All right.
Thank you. Take a seat. All right, we've got 5 minutes for Q&A for Mayor Andre, opening it up to members only, so no statements in the form of questions, please. There are 2 microphones. Come on up. You have an opportunity to ask Mayor Andre anything you like. Mayor Andre, I will say next year we are focusing on 3 issues you touched: homelessness, affordable housing, and public safety.
Good deal.
And so we hear your call, and we're going to be doing programming and a call to action so that Rotarians can continue to partner with your office to make this the city that we want to live in. Go ahead.
Go Jackets.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, thank you for being here today. So tell us how big the problem of homelessness is. If you're solving it for 2,000 people right now, how many people are left? How much does it cost per person? What's your solution? Is there a housing mechanism that you're trying to put them into? How do we help you solve it?
Yeah, that's a good question. So it's really the goal is to try to get to functional zero, because if we ask a question of, okay, we got 2,000 that went through, how many do we have left? If someone right now in some place outside the city of Atlanta says, we just rounded up 10 people in our county and sent them to Greyhound Station in Atlanta, I got 10 more. So every day we are an importer of people that may have challenges. So I don't know each day how many it is. It just continues to be a growing number, and we continue to spend our resources, money, our systems of help, our wraparound services. I think we have about capacity to do anywhere between 2,000 and 2,500 of those, service delivery mechanisms. Some of it looks like shelter. But shelter is temporary. It's for now. It's for like when it's very cold. But what gets somebody stability is having a permanent supportive housing, something that can help them with their mental health, their drug addiction, or somebody that's in a serious situation with domestic violence, getting them back on their feet. We also try to help reunite people back with their families. Sometimes people fall out with family because of mental health or because of violence or because of drug addiction. And the way that they get back in that is if we can help cure them here, that is through our county, that's responsible for health and human services, mental health and physical health. If the county can help rehabilitate these people and get them back to where they need to be, then we can help them with temporary housing until they get back there. It is costly, though. It is very costly for us to support individuals in this way. Imagine rents being over $1,000 a month and food and everything. When someone's experiencing homelessness and we put them in a housing, they're getting literally everything taken care of. So $3,000 to $4,000 a month for one individual is about what we're spending. So you could do the math from there.
Bruce, go ahead.
Bruce Gunter, Mayor Dickens. First of all, thank you very much. In my 40 years of affordable housing, I don't think any other city administration has done as much as yours in affordable housing and homelessness, and it shows. My question, though, is I think your colleague and mentor, Mayor Franklin, inadvertently became the sewer mayor. And in 25 or maybe 26, my question is are you also going to be known as the water mayor?
Man, I love Shirley Franklin and the commitment she took on with the sewers when a consent decree and the sewer overflows. She stood up strong and really had to deal with that. We had a sewer crisis. Ours was a water crisis that occurred on May 31st. I'll never forget that those 3 or 4 days where we were dealing with a crisis of water flowing up out of the ground. And so we've created a water advisory commission, which actually includes Shirley Franklin and a few others, smart, dynamic leaders that know how to solve infrastructure problems. We have the Army Corps of Engineers right there with us that are helping us be able to solve our problems. We've already improved a number of leaks. We're using AI technology to detect leaks now that are earlier detection and letting it bubble up into the street. Thank God we haven't had a crisis. Imagine the things that the year before, just giving you a statistic, in 2023, the city of Atlanta had 500 water main breaks and leaks. So we were getting used to fixing 2 leaks a day. Across the city. Pipes were just bursting and we were fixing them. Unfortunately, and that was just the case for the last 10 years because it's just old infrastructure. But then on May 30th, 2 major, a 48-inch and a 36-inch, bursted at the relatively same time, and that just cripples you. So what we're doing now is going after those large pipes first, which is going to mean a lot of construction. Large pipes are under the middle of the road, guys, which means in order to get to it, you have to break up the road. In order to break up the road, we don't want you running over any construction people, so you have to close roads, and that's going to be a major overhaul that's costing us time, money, and convenience, but it'll help us in the long haul. So yeah, I'll be the water mayor, I'll be the housing mayor, I'll be the early child development mayor. I just want to be the mayor. I just want to be the mayor. I'm not.
What about being open the roads mayor, right? We've got time for 2 more questions. Past President John.
So, Mayor, thank you again for your leadership. One of the things you've done is look across the aisle and work with folks from all different parties. We have a new administration in Washington right now. How do we make sure that Atlanta is known to that administration, that we have a presence there, and that the issues that are important to us are being recognized?
Yeah, thank you for that question, John. I mean, as you even being with you and going to various places, whether it's to talk about technology or to make sure we work well across the aisle, even in the state, I think I'm going to use that same model with the feds that I did with the state, working close with Governor Kemp, working close with the leadership of the state legislature and state house and all the leaders. Our goals don't change when the state or the feds change. Our goals of trying to help the city be safe, have thriving communities, continue to grow our economy, that doesn't change. Our strategies might change. How we, rub elbows and what jokes we laugh at might change. But our goals don't change. Some of them jokes I ain't laughing at, but I will laugh at some. But we just kind of make we make friends, and we have great lobbying groups that have multiple. They have their bipartisan. We have already made our case known for things like water. We said, hey, this is an infrastructure issue. It's not a Republican or Democrat issue. Please help us carry forward what the current Biden administration is doing with the Army Corps of Engineers. Please, let's carry that forward into the Trump administration. The water sewer situation is important for the region, not just, so the short answer is I'm going to make friends. I'm going to communicate broadly about the things that we need. Stay out of useless fights. There are certain fights that, some fights just come and you kind of say, this is not the time for that, or I don't want to embark upon that. I'll stay focused on the things we committed to.
Thank you.
Thank you. John, last question.
Mayor Dickens, how are you today? Thanks for being here with us. 1996 was transformational for Atlanta. In a couple of years, that transformation will be on our doorstep again. With the things that you've outlined in your agenda and the fact that the world is once again coming to Atlanta, can you talk about that as an opportunity to continue to build upon Atlanta as one of the great cities in the world?
Yeah, thank you, John. And I mean, the Celebration Bowl is an example of that, how we, since 96, have added on to our portfolio of great events and great hosting opportunities. So 30 years, we're the only city that gets to go from the Olympics to the World Cup in a 30-year span, right? So we'll have the 1996 Olympics and we'll be a World Cup host city in 2026. What have we learned in the middle? And then we just keep getting more and more blessings. We got MLB All-Star Game. We got the Super Bowl. We have the Final Four that's coming. So we are learning a lot and experiencing a lot. I've gone on a trip to Qatar just a couple weeks ago to go see. They were the last World Cup city. They were World Cup 2022. I went there and sat with the whole team, learned some stuff, took some notes. They taught us a lot. Now they got oil money and natural gas money. We got y'all money, and y'all ain't. It's a little different. And they got an Amir that just says we're doing it, and I got an MPU system, I got community meetings, but But we're going to get it done the Atlanta way through collaborative spirit. They were saying things, and I was like, so that just happened? Like, that? Like, yeah, you would just build us a train system. I was like, I want to build a train system. So, but the thing that the overall goal for me with the World Cup is that it doesn't just happen to Atlanta, it happens with Atlanta. I don't want us to have a whole bunch of people saying, I'm just staying at home because there's going to be all these people from all over the place here and I don't know what to do. I can't go to work. This ain't for me. I don't have $2,000 to go to a match. No, but we want to have a bunch of activations in various corridors leading up to it and during it. You should have watch parties and know what the rules of engagement are. You should have local businesses being able to showcase Atlanta to the world, and not only during those games times, but beyond. There will be a 2027 for Atlanta. What will we look like, Dan Corso, after the World Cup leaves? We're going to look like a wonderful, beautiful city that has hosted the World Cup, and everybody in the world will be talking about the World Cup was in Atlanta. I got to get back. I got to go back and enjoy Atlanta's Beltline. I got to go back and have a game, a match there. I got to start my business there. I got to put a headquarters there because the vibe was right. I went to South Downtown, David Cummings, and I saw that it was fun. So I'm just saying that for us, it's to prepare to do that. We're, Dan and the team are doing all the nuts and bolts, the hard work of making sure it's safe, that people are able to get around. But what we want to do is also add in the human scale to it, that the residents of Atlanta are included of it, the small businesses are included, and that it'll be unforgettable.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd now like to call to the stage two of our most engaged Rotarians, Randall Kirsch and Shan Cooper. For those of you who don't know Randall, he is the owner and partner at Jackson Spalding, and Shan is the CEO at Journey Forward Strategies. Come on up to the stage and take the program from here so that we can recognize our early childhood educators as well as giving the club an update on where we're at.
What do I do?
Don't go anywhere.
Don't leave the stage, Mayor. Don't leave the stage. Stay. Well, good afternoon, my fellow Rotarians. It's so good to see all of you, and I'm just delighted today because today is a very special day. Not only do we have our mayor, but we have our educators here in the room with us today. And I think that's just super special for our club. And so at this time, I have the honor of introducing each of them, and they're going to come and be joined on stage with the mayor to take a quick photo, and this is very special. So I want you guys to applaud like you're already at the fever, okay? Yes, let it out, let it out, let it out, let it out. Let it out. That's it. That's it. So I'm going to start calling names now. Thank you. Linda Avery Logan. Do I have Linda? Oh, did I? Okay, I just didn't skip. Let me keep going. Jean Bills. Jean. Jayla Blackwell. Savannah Burks. Kamika Burnside. Dixie DeLeon. Latanya Elliott. Matisha Hardy. Antoinese Hicks. Morgan Hollingsworth. Norina Hood. Courtney Howard. Virginia Johnson. Miranda Johnson. Sharina Judge. Sharita Lucas. Yolanda Mahaya. Kalia Moore. Jessica Respris. Antonia Thomas. And Ashley Watts. Let's show them some love. Woohoo! Yay!
quick photo up.
You don't need to see me.
All right, here we go, guys. Ready? All right, here we go. Ready? Big smiles. 1, 2, 3. Everybody get your shot. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Everybody clap.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, early childhood champions. Appreciate you. We are going to hear from one of our early childhood champions who's going to stay up here with us for just a minute to share a little bit about her experience in the classroom. So, Kamika, if you could stay up here with us. So I want to introduce Kamika Burnside, who has more than 2 decades teaching our youngest learners. It turns out that, thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. Changing a child's future is hard work, and these women are doing that hard work every single day out there in the classroom. Kamika has been doing it for over 20 years. She is in a YMCA Early Learning Academy, and she's going to step up and share just a few of her remarks about what she's experienced. Kamika.
Hi, thank you. And like many of you, I believe that the work that we do in those first crucial years of young children's lives lays the foundation for a lifetime of learning, confidence, and success. As an early educator, I've had the joy and privilege of being a part of a child's earliest experience with discovery and growth. There's nothing quite like seeing the wonder in a child's eyes when they learn something new or master a skill that they've been working so hard to achieve. Of course, this work comes with its challenges. Each child brings their own unique story, personality, learning needs, and meeting those needs requires creativity, perseverance, and heart. One of my most recent memorable moments was when a child who struggles with his speech clearly stated that his puzzle was not difficult. When I told him, "Are you sure you can do this puzzle?" It was a puzzle that he had been working on for weeks. And he did not want my help, and when he finally got done, he said, "Not difficult." And I was so surprised because he had never used any words like that. And to us, when we're teaching them, that's considered a tier 2 word. And it was such an accomplishment for him just to say that word, knowing that he learned it from hearing us speak it every day, and from just knowing how to use it in that sentence, letting me know that it was not difficult for him to put together. And in that moment, like so many others, affirmed for me why I chose this path, and to nurture young minds and help each child reach their fullest potential. This year, I had the incredible opportunity to participate in the Mayor's Early Literacy Award program. This program provided valuable training to strengthen my teaching practice, particularly around fostering early literacy. Through these workshops, I learned engaging new strategies to encourage storytelling, reading, and language development in the classroom. Beyond the tools and techniques, this program reminded me of the power of community investment in educators. The support I received through the program, including a $500 training incentive, allowed me to purchase additional literacy resources for my classroom, which are already making a difference for my children. As we gather to celebrate 20 years of dedication to early childhood education, I am filled with gratitude and inspiration. The impact of our work as educators and of programs like the Mayor's Early Literacy Award is far-reaching. It extends beyond classrooms and into the future of every child we teach. Together, we are shaping a world where every child has the tools they need to thrive. So thank you for recognizing and celebrating the work that we do. Here's to many more years of transforming young lives, one classroom, one story, and one child at a time. Thank you.
Well done. 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 Well d Give it up for Kamika. And Joel, here's my clicker. I'm gonna let you turn that down just a little bit. Speak very quietly. Guys, thank you so much for being here today. Check, good? All right. Shannon and I are going to give you a quick update, the slightest touch on how we got into early childhood education as a club, why it matters so much. But more importantly, we're going to focus on what is the impact that we've made, this measurable impact that we were really set out to do. And this was an experiment, right? We didn't know how this was going to end, so we'll let you in on how it's going so far, because we're deep into year 2 of a 3-year commitment right now. I want you to hear how that's going. Then Shannon's going to talk to you about how we're doing on the fundraising front and how you can help with us there. And then we've got a little bit of surprise news at the end we want to share with you guys. So getting started, this is what we were really solving. I think if you know anything about early childhood education, you know how important it is in terms of downstream effects and how it prevents all kinds of negative things and improves all kinds of positive outcomes. But this was the urgency that was hitting our city. And these numbers speak for themselves, and they're sobering, right? And they don't hit all communities equally, like so many things, right? And we also found out not only we have a deficit in literacy, like an emergency deficit emerging in literacy, but there's not enough teachers. And at the time we were getting into this, there were a lot of teachers leaving the classroom, not staying, as the teachers we're recognizing today have done, right? So that's what got us moving. At the same time, the mayor issued his $20 million commitment to early childhood education. It was the first of its kind. He called on the business community to do something. We responded as a club. And we've raised almost $2 million to do this 3-year commitment. And the two pieces are we wanted to increase access and quality of those classrooms those kids were getting their start in. So I've showed this slide many times. I'm going to show it every time you'll let me. It's the one thing I want you to remember from this whole presentation about what it is we are doing. It is retain and train teachers. The retention piece is if you teach in the 0 to 3 classroom, you can earn $500 by staying for an additional year after you enroll as an early childhood champion. We'll talk to you about the impact of that in a minute. And the other piece, and what we saw some of our deserving teachers get today, is the Mayor's Award for Early Literacy and a different $500 bonus for completing about 10 or 11 hours of work on the Cox campus, which is the Rollins Center for Language and Literacy's digital platform, right? Which teaches the science of reading to get these kids on the right track for literacy and solve some of those numbers that we started to see today. So here's what happened in year 1 from an enrollment. It was a 2-month enrollment, which we did again this August and September, but last year was when we kicked it off. We didn't know what to expect in terms of uptake. This was the first of its kind that we've done in this city. We saw about half, a little over half, of the eligible teachers in the footprint. And this is about 200 early learning programs around the city and serving about 20,000 kids to give you a sense of scale, right? So about half of those, they weren't concentrated in pockets of the city, which we were worried might happen. So this was really good to see a really diverse map. And then we also didn't know what to expect in terms of how many people would be willing to go do that training. And we had set a cap of 300 so we wouldn't bleed out our bank. And it turns out we hit that 300 very, very quickly and ended up raising the cap to 350. Since then, we've actually eliminated the cap entirely, right? Okay, so those are all good news. Here's what happened on the training side. We delivered a whole lot of fair market value to teachers in terms of paid professional development, which they don't have access to very often. We got very, very high ratings on the coursework, as you can see. I love this quote from one of the participants, which is exactly what we were trying to accomplish. The content was so helpful in day-to-day interaction with the kids. It has changed the way I do things in the class, and it is more effective. And I hope every one of you sitting over here has had that same experience. I really, really do. Maybe the most telling statistic of this, we found this out just the other day, is that 35% of the award recipients who did this work went on to complete additional courses on the Cox campus on their own, which tells you a whole lot about the value they saw in that program. So that's the training piece. Let's talk about the retain piece. This is way harder to measure. I've said that up here before. We are actually, I was talking to Shawnell the other day, we're actually making a little bit of history just by benchmarking and gathering this data for the city of Atlanta. It didn't exist before. I want to thank, I don't know where Gary Eldon Bingham, there you are, Gary. Thank you so much for lending your expertise. Gary's done a tremendous amount of research in this space. He's at GSU, and so he came on board to help us do this benchmarking. And we started by saying, number one, you're not going to get a single number for the whole footprint. Does it exist? And you're never going to be able to get it. So what we did instead is we tried to benchmark several of the largest providers. Now, they're also the most credible and reputable. They have the best HR data. They also are pretty good at retention, right? So maybe not the most perfect sample, but it was the best one we could get. We also had other data from around the state via the Georgia Pre-K program. So this is where we landed, and I'm going to put it in context. So of those 759 folks, 500 and so were eligible for the retention bonus, and of those, 78% stayed in their job for a whole year and are still there today, okay? So what does that mean? Well, around Georgia Pre-K, and y'all keep me honest on these statistics because they're important, 70% is the norm, okay? And that's what we've seen in Georgia Pre-K statewide for the last 3 years, and it syncs up with some work Gary has done years ago over like a 10-year period on more of a national sample, right? So 70% is sort of this magic number we were trying to beat, and we beat it pretty handily. What we also saw is even on some of these large reputable programs, we beat the numbers for the past couple years from anywhere from 3 to 11 points. That's also super meaningful. There is one best-in-class program, it shall remain nameless, who beat us by a few points, but we got some catching up to do with that program. But I will tell you, in terms of what we expected to see, this is a really good outcome. I don't think anybody believed this was going to cut retention or cut a churn in half, but we wanted to see a meaningful and measurable impact, and we have, thanks to all of you. So, with that, I want to tell you how we're doing in year 2, and then I'm going to hand over to Shan to talk about where we are on fundraising. So we're up 60 points almost in our year 2 enrollment. Part of that is because the year 1 enrollees are automatically re-enrolled. Frankly, I wasn't sure we were going to get a whole lot more. We got almost 500 more teachers to enroll in year 2. So that number's only going to grow. Thank you. And then because the training bonus was a one-time opportunity, whereas the retention bonus we've made a multi-year opportunity, we weren't sure what we'd see there, but we've seen almost another 300 trainings already completed, and this is just the first few weeks post-enrollment of this year. So we're on a great track on both the retain and train side in terms of who we're affecting. So that's great news. Round of applause for everyone who has helped with this. I want to thank especially Gears and Pact, and Shawnell, you've been an absolute hero. Thank you. I cannot say it enough. Every time I'm up here, I'm going to say your name. Gary, thank you so much. Lauren, you've been such a help. I mean, just really, we've had a huge turnout of support for this entire thing from this entire club. It's been incredibly inspiring to see what this club can pull off when you sort of turn on the engine. So with that, let's talk about where we are.
Thank you. So give it to the pastor's kid to talk about money, right? You guys know me now. Let me start by thanking you all who have participated in this particular work. As you can see, it's working, guys, and I don't want us to lose our momentum. We started this project, we said to you we wanted to raise $1.75 million over 3 years, right? And we're doing well. And if everyone keeps their commitment, I think we're going to be fine. I should not have to get into your wallets again. But I leave the door open for that. And let me tell you why. So here's what's going on. As you can see there, I'm so grateful again to Delta and Google. They heard about the work we were doing. You all remember that Ed Bastian was here and actually invested into this program. Google, they also came through Monique Picot. I want to thank her for her support. You all as club members, you can see there, $764,000 committed and pledged today. And then our club charitable foundations are really helping us carry the ball on this as well. So I'm so grateful to all of you. And so as you know, as time goes on, I think it's this button, Randolph? Big green. Big green. I just want to put your name in lights. And I hope all of you see your names on this list. If you do not, please come see me. Or better yet, on your table, there is a QR code. You guys knew this was coming, right? You guys know me by now. Let me tell you why this is so important. I'm so grateful for the results we are getting. As Randall talked about, we are kind of leading this across the country as we're beginning to look at other data and what's happening in other cities and other benchmarks. And I'm so grateful to our president, President Adrian, because he has been promoting this at Rotary International. And the one thing they look at, guys, before they really begin to give us attention, maybe even financial support, they look at if the club is actually participating. I want to thank these folks on the list here because at this point, we only have about 31% of our members are engaged in the process today. So I want to invite all of you, because I love to type all of your names on this list, right? But for Rotary International to really say this club is committed to the work, we need 50% of you participating. And so I have all of your numbers. They gave me that book, I've got your pictures. I've got all of that on you. So I do invite you, particularly if you are a new member to Rotary, please, please participate. Please join us in this great work. It's working. You cannot see these awesome teachers here today and talk with them and spend time talking with them. And it's changing how they're teaching and engaging with our children, right? And so, again, I'm excited about this program. You guys, I've shared with you guys before, I'm a Head Start graduate, okay? That's how I got my foundation. I'm so grateful for that program. And so let's continue to support the work, but please allow me to type your name on this chart. Do you see yourselves up there? I hope you see yourselves. So with that, I'll stop here and I'll hand it back to Randall. But we want to be a leader in this work for Rotary International. So please help us do that.
Okay, so one last thing that's just a cool twist to this story, because good things follow good things. And the mayor, as part of his $20 million, they got together with the College Football Playoff Foundation. And as you guys know, the college football playoffs are coming here in January. And so the College Football Playoff Foundation has a program called Extra Yard for Teachers. And the mayor's office steered them right over to PACT and right over to our program to talk about how they could help. We pitched them on 4 different ideas of ways that they could make an impact. And here's what we ended up doing. So we proposed this idea of, we're bonusing early educators $500 a piece for staying in the classroom for 1 year. But what about veterans who've been out there for 10 years or more? What if we had a time machine and could go back and honor them for every year of that service? That would be cool. So that's what we're doing. They're giving us $50,000, and we're going to honor 10 teachers. It's a nomination process from center directors. But if you've been there 10 years or more, and you've added materially, not just in the day-to-day checking the box of the job, but in other ways and really made the program better in the time that you've been there, you're eligible to get this award. So we're going to be looking at nominations, choosing the winners in a few weeks, and then we're going to announce them at the Extra Yard for Teachers Summit on January the 18th, about a week out from the college football playoffs. So that's a really exciting twist, one we didn't expect. Thank you to the mayor's office for steering them. PACT and Gears, thank you so much for bringing this to the table as well. So listen, round of applause for you guys, and thank you so much.
Anything else? You got it? Randall and Shan, thank you for your leadership and service above self. I'd like to recognize their efforts. They've been championing this for 18 months or more. Who has any questions for Randall or Shan? We've got 2 microphones. Any questions from the floor around our program? Zach, come on up. I'll let you go.
Zach's going to kick us off some hardball. Let's see. Yeah.
Is there a problem with the children's parents not being able to read and that being passed down to the children themselves? And can anything be done about that?
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know. I'd have to defer to our program leaders and maybe even the teachers in the room as far as what you see in terms of literacy in the household, because I imagine that could make a big difference. Anybody have thoughts on that want to share? It's a tough question, and it's a real one. Jennifer.
Randall, what's the program that's beating us, and can we copy some of their tactics?
Repeat the question.
Yeah, the question was, what's the program in Atlanta that's beating us, and can we copy some of their tactics? They might be in the room. So yeah, I was not going to name any names, but they might be in the room, and the answer is probably yes. Yes, I think we could. Yeah, good question. Any others? And Zach, I'm sorry we didn't have a better answer for your question. It's a good one. Lauren, do you have a thought on that?
Lauren, there's a microphone.
So I'm not speaking on all early learning folks, and hi to our YMCA teachers over there. I'm so proud of you guys. I think one of the things that we try to do is make sure that parents have the opportunities to be engaged in all sorts of trainings. So you have to look at it as a two-generation approach. So of course you're trying to make sure that children in the classroom are receiving the highest quality education, especially around literacy and language acquisition, but you're also trying to make sure that families have access to all the things that they need as well. So I think while we may not be able to solve the problem of adult literacy, that's not what early childhood programs do. We are very cognizant, and I'm looking at Blythe and others around the room at Sheltering Arms, we're very cognizant of making sure that families have opportunities and have access to workforce development, housing, food. So we don't look at this as a child comes in and they're there alone. We look at it as a full family wraparound. How do we make sure families have stability? And that really, at the end of the day, helps whether or not the parents can read or not, it still helps have a stability for the children to stay in the program. So I hope that's a little bit helpful.
Yeah. Well said, thank you. Any other questions? I'll hand it back over to President Adrian. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Randall and Shan. I can't tell you how proud I am to be a member of the Atlanta Rotary Club. We set about this year to be about engaging and impacting as only our club can. You heard it from the mayor saying we have 111 years of history of solving problems in this room that wouldn't be solved otherwise. He even said, imagine having a friend that disagrees with you, right? And so the way in which we all lent into the season of service around the elections and the way that was recognized by Secretary Raffensperger makes me proud. What makes me especially proud is to see you all here today making the impact that you're making on our community and bending the arc in the direction that we want to take. And I'll tell you all that Rotary International is all about this. They are looking for ways to support us and for us to show the way for other Rotary clubs across the country. It bears all the hallmarks of what they're looking for: sustainability, data, impact, the ability to work with partners like PACT and GEARS so that this becomes a multiplying effect. And so please listen to what Shan asked you all to do today. The last piece of the jigsaw is participation. No matter how small, you can make it. If we can get our participation numbers up, Vice President for Club Service, Stephanie Stuckey, and I will be able to bring home the bacon, so to speak. So that's one of my goals. Chanel, thank you for everything that you do. We're going to end our program early, not just to accommodate the mayor's schedule, but to allow members to talk to you and some of the educators. But before we ring the bell, I want to remind everybody about last week's call to action around our Michelin Star program. I didn't know there was such a thing as a green star, did you, Randall? But look for those green stars, not just the black stars, for restaurants that speak to sustainability. And then learn more about food insecurity by engaging with Feeding America at feedingamerica.org. And if you still have questions, ask our friend Bill Bolling. Some exciting programs to end the year. So glad to have David Cummings back, who will be moderating a program around startups defining Atlanta's future. And then look out, Daughters Day is already a sellout. Harry has got us Michaela Ulmer, who is coming to speak to us, an incredibly inspirational figure. She's the founder and CEO of Me and the Bees. And so with that, I hope you found today's program as uplifting as I did, and we are adjourned.